Our first efforts began back in 1999. We joined the DuPage River Sweep, and we cleaned up a long section of the west branch of the DuPage River. It involved about 21 miles of stream banks. We got 20 volunteers, and we removed about 2 tons of garbage. So not too bad for our first try. The next year, I was charged with the responsibility of trying to incorporate those cleanup efforts into the village's beautification goal. Unfortunately, the west branch of the DuPage River doesn't even run through here. So we had to modify that program quite a bit. So what we did is we focused on 4 stream sections within Carroll Stream: Klein Creek, Thunderbird Creek, Winfield Creek, and the West Branch tributary number 4. We also thought, hey, why not get those 33 ponds and lakes in Carroll Stream? And so we included them also. We sent out over 2,500 letters to different individuals throughout the village. We concentrated most of them on the people that lived along the streams and the creeks. We designed a poster and put a poster out, 40 different posters out in various locations throughout the village. We also had a message that was put on our community electronic bulletin board and our village cable channel. We sent out similar messages in our newsletter called The Village Happenings, and also in all our water bills to every single resident, actually every single water customer. 20 community groups were also solicited. We had 3 press releases that were sent out. We had a very good relationship with our press, and that helped out a lot. Each individual group received a flyer registration card, an informational instruction sheet, and along with a waiver form. We required everybody to have a waiver form, as did the Conservation Foundation, and we worked together on protecting both the Conservation Foundation and the village. We also created what we called our Coordinator's Manual to help the individual groups coordinate their efforts. And we created a volunteer database. And we wanted to keep track of all our different volunteers and the efforts going forward. We provided an instructional sheet on how to organize a cleanup effort to our different groups. And the village inspected all the ponds beforehand and stream sections and prioritized them, because we wanted to try to get an idea of which ones were the dirtiest and try to get our efforts focused there. Got all our equipment together, we got donations, and we also had donations for other things, other different types of supplies. And lastly, we wanted to make sure we recognize these people. They come out on a day and gave us a half a day of their time and effort, and we wanted to make sure we recognized them. So we used a variety of means to recognize them. We also wanted to do something a little bit more. Because we had so many ponds, we wanted to do what we called a pond shoreline cleanup program. And we tried to incentivize volunteers to do one additional cleanup throughout the year, and that way they could qualify for this program. We used all the same solicitation efforts, informational material, and implementation as we did with the pond and stream sweep itself. One difference is we had we recognized these groups by providing a recognition sign at their specific pond, and the results were, oh my gosh, we went from a mere 20 volunteers to 190, and it was just a phenomenal effort. And then reality sunk in. That newness quickly wore off and declined to a low of 25 volunteers, only 5 miles of shorelines being cleaned, and 680 pounds, from a record high of 2 tons per year. So what the heck happened? These are the issues that we identified. The traditional solicitation efforts just were not working anymore. The mailings weren't that effective. Coming into the Great Recession, I had already lost 20% of my staff, and I was going to lose another 20%. So we had a lot of problems going on there. And we also had a lot of other responsibilities being placed on the department, so I didn't have the commitment that I could really give to this. And we also saw technological advances, emails and social media, so we had to come up with a new approach. The first thing I did was I found a champion. Everybody's been saying that. Well, this is probably the most unlikely champion you will ever see. This is my administrative secretary. Her name's Donna Hocko. She didn't really care too much for the native environment so much, and the reason being is her house was attacked, and her cars were attacked by some squirrels. She couldn't get past that. But the one thing she hated garbage and debris and trash. So I let her loose on this, and she's been a great champion on this. And the first thing we did is we had to know our community. And we had a large industrial sector, so we targeted them for groups. And here's one of them. AJ and Tunis, they've been with us a long time doing this. Great effort on their part. We also looked at some of our other organizations. Park District, the Fire Protection District, Boy Scouts, all those different groups that we have out there. And it takes a personal touch. It really does. We sent out all these flyers and notices and everything, but you know what? Giving a phone call, we found, was the most effective way. We really targeted that from going on. We also wanted to make it flexible, so we didn't require that they had to do it on that day. What difference does it make if it's a weekend before, or the weekend after, or even 6 months later? It really, we had to adapt our program to meet their needs. We made it easy. All they have to do is pick up the garbage, put it at the curb or some location. We came around and picked it up and took it to the dumpster. And that really helped a lot. We also wanted to incentivize our groups by, allowing them to adopt a certain pond or a certain stream section. And, hey, you can earn an earth life by doing this too. So we had some companies do that. We also, and I think this is the biggest thing, is we really need to develop lasting relationships. We heard that throughout the presentations, and this is Flood Brothers. I know Waste Management does lot of your dumpsters, but they happen to be our waste haulers, so we partnered with them. And by doing that, I think it helped out because they're the ones that empty all these garbage cans and dumpsters and everything. So when they see on windy days stuff flying around, you know, they pay more particular attention. And, well, here's the result. We turned it around, and now, you know, things really improved for us. 17 years of cleanups. We had almost 1,500 volunteers, 193 miles of shorelines and stream banks, and over 22 tons removed. Our yearly averages have gone up to 98. We're trying to get 100. We're doing about 13 miles and almost 3,000 pounds of trash removed. And in the end, this is what it's really all about. Dumpster after dumpster, getting the stuff out of our waterways. With that,